Yes, I'm live right now.
Oh,
Okay, so I just wanted to check in with you guys. I know the last video that I made was a while ago. Things have been so crazy. So I have my little selfie stick. Let's hope that it's not going to be too shaky. So right now I am in the middle of just like cleaning and moving. So basically, my parents are coming in from, let's see, hold on, let me, trying to move the selfie stick very carefully so I'm not gonna Jason Bourne anyone. So right now my apartment is absolutely crazy, so sorry about that, but I just really missed all you guys, so I wanted to check in and just kind of tell you guys what's all been happening. So this morning, my mom and my stepdad are coming in from North Carolina, and they are bringing a lot of stuff. They're bringing a couch, because we really need a couch, and also a dining room table. And so we've kind of, sorry. So basically, I had my stuff in, oh, I realized the door's not closed. Sorry about that. So let's see. I told you guys, I think, that I was moving, and I was in this one house, and I had some stuff, but honestly most of the big furniture, oh wait, comment? I've been in this apartment for, I wanna say maybe like a week and a half, but it really doesn't count as a week and a half, I think, because I was on set. I just wrapped a feature on Saturday, and I'm sorry, I probably should have written down what I was gonna like tell you guys, because I'm just so excited. There's been so much. Hi. So what happened, it was actually kind of funny. I was script supervising on a feature, and it was such a great experience. I know I made a video showing you guys what I wear on set as a PA, and I'm probably gonna do another one showing you guys my kit as a script supervisor, because they are two different departments. So, you know, in film, generally, you're gonna be wanting to wear like show blacks, for instance, even if that means like, a lot of times in New York, I think they're more strict about this, but you wear black from head to toe. And that's just simply so that like, you don't show up on camera in like a reflection or something, because you know, if you're like filming something and there's even, if you're in a hotel lobby and there's really like sparkly granite, you can see people's reflections. But if it's black, then like it's a little bit harder to tell, but if there's someone in like a bright neon shirt, you're gonna be able to see them. And so in general, show blacks, but that just means like this would be a little bit too bright, but something more muted, like it just generally like a muted palette. So that's gonna be the same regardless. Like I'm not gonna be wearing neons, but I do get to dress a little bit. Well, I'll show you guys later. Anyway, I was script supervising on this, and so I have to do my homework whenever I come home. So I have to do like the editor notes, and my wonderful boyfriend thought to himself, I'm so excited to get into the apartment. I bet Jessica is too. I know I'm going to move our stuff. So I get back to the house, and I just see that I'm like, my bed's not there, and he had done a wonderful job. Okay, he like went to everything, and like the sections that they were in, he like packaged everything together, so you know it'd be easy to unpack. But I get home after like a 14-hour day, and I'm just like, well, I want my bed, and you moved all my stuff, and we don't even have internet there. And he's exhausted because he was like, I thought you would like it. And so then we were both just like upset, and it was one of those things where like neither one of us did anything wrong, but it still was really stressful. And then we went to cookout, and then they got my order wrong, and so it was a time of it. So he moved a lot of our stuff. He was really great whenever I was on set, because, you know, like, I'm gonna grab some water. I just don't have the bandwidth whenever you're filming, you know, you just don't have the bandwidth really to take care of things. Like, you leave at like 7 a.m. if you're lucky, and then you get back home at like 8 or 9 p.m. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. So yeah, we wrapped on Saturday, and then it didn't really get started until like Monday or Tuesday. We got all of my stuff from the old house 2 days ago, on Friday. Yeah, Friday is whenever we were officially moved out, and it was kind of bittersweet. You know, he stepped outside. He's like, I want to give you a chance to say goodbye to the house. You know, even if like the roommate situation wasn't always the best, I really did love the house. It was an old like 1940s house. There was plaster, though actually there was a huge crack in the ceiling that was starting, so that was kind of worrisome. But it had character, and it had this huge basement that I turned into a really sweet office. So I like walked around and I just like thought of everything whenever I first got there in September, whenever I moved to Atlanta, and how excited I was and scared. And then it got so cold here in the fall and winter, and I did not expect that. I didn't expect that. And I thought about friends that I had had over, and you know, the good times and the bad times. And I wrote a little note, and I like put the key in there, and I said, oh, hey Marvin. I said, so long and thanks for the memories. So yeah, that was, so I wrapped the film on Saturday, but we'd already had our stuff started to move in. Then moved in the rest of my stuff, though it's a lot of like, I'm really excited to downsize. I don't know if you can probably see over there in the sunroom, and I'll give you guys like a proper tour. But I'm getting rid of a lot of my clothes and things that I'm feeling really, really sentimental about. I'm probably gonna do like a little photo shoot or something and then sell them on Depop. That's also what made me really be like, oh, I really wanna make a video and catch up with you guys, because the last video I made was going through some of my clothes and saying like, oh, goodbye, goodbye. So I need to send those out, and I'm really excited about that. But I want to show you guys the tour, and thank you everyone who's hanging out here with me. So, oh, thanks. So we have right here, I know this is gonna be, okay, you can kind of consider this like the before. Also, my bangs are growing out, and it's real raw. Everything's going on right now, but you know what? That's what is really exciting, because it's making room for growth. I'm looking around and I'm seeing all these possibilities. So we have washer and dryer, and actually we got these off of Facebook Marketplace, and these are like apparently in 2018 like a $1,200 washer and dryer set, and we got them for, the original posting was for $700. We got them for $400. The guy like loaded them up on the truck, and they fit in the back of Jeremy's car, which I couldn't believe. And then we get here, and this thing right here, these hoses, it was a saga. It was an absolute like battle for the ages. There was this old rusted pipe, this hose attached to this rusted pipe, you see. And though many men had tried, they'd all failed to rescue it from its iron grip. Lo, did Jeremy and Jessica ask the apartment complex to send us a maintenance crew, but many nights had passed, and there was no maintenance crew to be found. Verily, our heroes did toil with many 2 wrenches, but could not be done. So defeated in their hearts, they resolved to use the old rusted pipe, or hose as it were, for the hot water, and use the new one for the cold. Yet when they turned it on, it sprayed water everywhere. It was not usable. So, finally, the maintenance crew shows up, and they were well pleased to see that the maintenance crew also had a lot of trouble with this old hose. It had to be cut off from it. But yeah, actually no, like 3 things happened at once. We were like, our allergies are kind of acting up. Was the air filter changed? And the guy was like, yeah, it should be. And then he looked, he's like, actually no, it wasn't. And actually, I don't think that the floors have been like super cleaned. So it's exciting. I'm gonna clean them with a little Mr. Clean mop. And oh yeah, also the air conditioning turned off, I guess. Marvin, you better not be eating my plant. So we have a washer dryer in unit. That was really important to me because I like to hang dry my clothes. I know it's so European of me. but I like to hang dry my clothes. I just think that it's better for the clothes because I like to thrift a lot. So, you know, sometimes you'll get clothes that are a little pre-loved and, you know, you don't want to accelerate the cycle of them wearing out. And it also saves on energy and electricity. Then we have the kitchen and the storage. Yes, I will upload ASMR videos soon. Actually, it's kind of exciting. So I will, well, actually, there are two things. One, I do want to upload more like ASMR specific videos. And I have a friend who's giving me an old mic of his, an old USB mic. A goal that I'm having right now is to work towards having like a setup, like a dual monitor kind of setup to be able to, you know, do things a little bit more because I like doing things like off the cuff, but I would like to be able to, you know, do some more intense like ASMR kind of stuff. And whoa, this above light is not great. But I do want to do that more. I try to, like, when in my regular videos, in my more like, you know, day-to-day vlog videos, to not be shouting at you guys because I know that tends to be like the way that a lot of YouTubers do it is like, hey, what's up, you guys? But I kind of want, you know, I want to feel like I'm hanging out with you guys and you guys are hanging out with me. So, Ooh, lost the connection for a second. Am I still live? Okay, cool. The short answer is yes, I will be having ASMR videos soon, more traditional ones. But I hope that, you know, if you're here for my ASMR content, that you also check out some of my ones that aren't necessarily tagged ASMR because I do try to make them to be, you know, ASMR adjacent so that you can still just like hang out and chill out. But I don't know if maybe like over in that corner, I'm gonna see if I lose connection again. But there, ton right here. But here's the crazy thing. For whatever reason, all of these cupboards are made super deep. Like in there. What's in there? We got a little microwave. So like there's a ton of storage, which I really, really love. Ooh, and I'm excited about this. Here's our little hall door. And I love having a key rack. I think that that is so, so, so important. I don't know where the bag is here. But like if I didn't have a key rack, I would just lose my mind. And I got this at IKEA and I like how it blends into the door and I put my masks on there. Oh, and this mask, one of the costumers on the film, Mariah, she makes them and I will never go back to another kind of mask. I was like, Mariah, please, I need to buy some more masks from you. Yeah, I like to put my, right now it's absolutely a mess because we're just kind of putting things there and seeing what happens. So just kind of having this for like shoes and coats. Oh, and I made this little IKEA bookshelf. Again, I'm going to be going through and purging a lot of my books. I did that thing where like I had, I guess, a Barnes & Noble's gift card and I panicked, so I bought a bunch of like classics intending to read them, but I haven't gotten around to. I don't know. The living room. Oh, and then, so it basically, it's like 1,000 square feet, which in Atlanta, I mean, we found 1,000 square feet for a pretty decent price and I'm really, really excited about that. But the fun thing is that there's a sunroom and I've got a plant and Marvin likes to eat plants, so I can close the door. And the weird thing is, so it's not like, it doesn't have an air vent there, so there's no AC, but it like is pretty well insulated. It's like I think it was a balcony that they just closed in. Oh, so then let's come around here. And this closet's where the hot water heater is, and then we have Can I, oh yeah, oh my God, I can't just turn it around. Okay, cool. This is why I loved this thing. Again, all of this, I'm gonna do a before and after. But I've got my little perfume, I've got my skincare stuff. It's kind of bad. I'm like obsessed with skincare. Julio Tizom? Is it Julio Tizom? Did I pronounce that right? I probably have a French accent when I say that, sorry. So the thing is, Georgia's honestly been pretty bad about the quarantine. And like everyone's been trying to go back to school, and I'm of two minds about it. So I've gone back to work, like I've been in like filming, but the weird thing is I feel a lot more safe when I'm on set than I do even being out in the everyday world, because we get tested before we go on to a production. It was paid for by the production. Oh, but in between that, I also, just in case I want to pick up a day playing thing, I ordered a kit. I just haven't done it yet. Julio, nice to meet you. There's this Pixel by LabCorp. So you can order a self-collection kit, and then it has all the, I haven't opened it yet, but it has all of the stuff in it that you need, and it has a little like refrigerator pack, and you do it yourself. So they'll try to charge you money. You can use your insurance, but also, sorry about that. If I'm gonna miss out on that sweet Pixel by LabCorp sponsorship. But they'll try to charge you money, but if you click on the little button that says like, use my insurance or I have no insurance, and then just put I have no insurance, it will not charge you, because like places are supposed to, I think it's a federal law in America, or they like did something where places have to offer you a coronavirus test free of charge, even if you don't have insurance. But a lot of people don't know to ask that, so then, they'll gladly take your money if you want to pay. Yeah, I do this thing, I'm really bad about like wearing jewelry constantly. I'll just have like a set couple of bracelets, and then like one necklace, and then I'll just wear that over and over and over again for like a couple weeks. And sometimes I'll like lose it, or things walk off, like I don't know, they do walk off. Things like to borrow them. But anyway, you can send it in. What you do is that you take the sample, it is in its own little like refrigerated case, and then you schedule a FedEx pickup. They pick it up, and then they give you your results in like 2 to 3 days. So that's really good. I like to get it like every 2 to 3 weeks, even if I'm not working. So we get tested, and then whenever we're on set, everyone's wearing a mask, and everyone's really, really good about it. Like you don't have people with it below their nose. All of our food is individually packaged, because that's one of the perks about working in film, is that they send you this email at the beginning of the week that's like, oh, what do you want for your entree, Monday through Friday. You get to choose everything, and then they will, oh, thanks. Yeah, I really like this. It's like $15, and it's got a little light on it. It's old school, but I like it. You can get it off of Amazon again for like $15. So film has started back, and I think that it's one of the safer places to be personally. Like I wouldn't feel as comfortable working at a supermarket, and I feel very fortunate that I have been able to return to work, because we tend to be pretty like bubbled anyway. Oh, speaking of vintage on it, so I have a friend who works in props for Stranger Things, and that's actually how we became friends. Is we were at a mutual friend's birthday party, and he was like, oh, nice, Casio. He's like, I have literally 200 of them in a box, because we give them to all the extras. Well, not give them, but loan them out for the background. So yeah, it is literally like vintage style. But yeah, like in terms of how the quarantine is, people aren't quarantining. Like I see people out and they aren't wearing masks, and they're in groups of like 2 to 3, which maybe those are close friends, maybe not. I've gone out to eat. I have gone out to eat maybe once or twice, but I was at a pho place, and I was seated, like there was maybe 3 of us in the restaurant. I was seated very far apart, and then they sat some people at a table like maybe 8 feet away from me, but they were inside, and so I did ask for my food to go. Like I asked for a to-go box. I didn't feel comfortable with that. I've eaten like outside. I've gotten to go, but again, you know, being on set and having my food like just boxed and like brought to me, and knowing that I'm seeing the same people for like 3 weeks because none of us are going anywhere after work, it makes me feel a lot more comfortable than even going and getting my food from a grocery store. Well, oh, let me see. Can I see your? Oh, sorry, I'm trying to read your. Oh, there we go. I take. Oh, okay. So you're in Spain, right? How are theater classes like in Spain? I've always wanted to take like theater classes in French because I speak French and English. Actually, I was supposed to be in France in June, and it's this really cool program where I was going to be teaching at a theater camp that teaches French kids English through theater. And they were gonna pay for my flight, pay for my lodging, pay for everything, but you know, coronavirus. So they basically pay for your flight there and your flight back. But you can tell them when you want to fly back. So I was gonna go there and then build like 3 weeks like at the end and then travel around. There's this really great photographer off of Instagram that I was going to, that she's in Berlin, and I've never been to Berlin or Germany before. And I reached out to her and I was like, hey, I'm gonna be in Europe, I'd love to work with you. And she's like, oh my gosh, yes, you can even crash with me. I was gonna meet my friend Lydia, because that's my travel partner, Lydia. She's the one that I went to Croatia with, and all on my Instagram. And so funny, she's like this 6-foot blonde Amazon, and I'm like sitting over here, and it looks like a regular Greyhound is hanging out with an Italian Greyhound in all of our pictures. We have one where I'm like standing on a step, and I'm like, we actually met, or we became friends at New York Fashion Week whenever we were both modeling, and I was always like, because I'm technically petite, but I have walked the runway, and I'm like, Lydia, why don't you let me walk into the room first? Because if you walk in before me, they're not gonna have me walk. But yeah, she's a good friend of mine. We're so bad about like actually staying in contact, but we travel so well together. So she was gonna come and we were gonna like go. I was gonna maybe go to Lyon again. I know, wah, poor me. I didn't get to go and like work in Europe, but still, I really was looking forward to that. But all that is to say that I'm really interested in the like theater techniques and training of other countries. I mean, we know a lot about like Chinese opera and, you know, Japanese theater, but I don't know and I know that Cirque du Soleil also, or like, sorry, there was Cirque du Soleil, which is Quebec. Ooh. I feel like, so I actually want to start doing a scene study class because I really, really miss working with other actors. Like, yeah, I can do a monologue up against a wall, but like, acting is about giving and receiving and that interplay, and I miss that. I did some table reads over the quarantine, but like, there's some interesting like scene study classes. It's just hard because I actually have, I'm script supervising on another feature in September, and then I'm script supervising on another feature after that in October. So, you know, working in a class around that might be difficult, but I want, like, I feel like scene study's a little bit easier, but for theater, especially a lot of like, you know, voice and movement, it's so hard because you kind of have to be in person, you know? It's hard to do it online. So another big thing, so right now I'm focusing on moving and like cleaning my place and organizing and going through stuff. Okay, cool. Focus more on the physical aspect, knowing and mastering it. Yeah, I think that European acting still kind of is more classical, right? So it's a lot of voice and movement. I think that we've kind of lost that in America a little bit, especially with film. Like film and theater tend to be a little bit separated. Vocalization. Oh yeah. That's why if you watch any like old Hollywood movies, they have these great like resonant voices because they train for it. You know, it's like it's a muscle, and it's also an instrument. It's like playing a violin. You know, you need it's the vibration. I don't know, whenever you're holding everything all tight, then it makes your voice all like tinny and like really low. I even need to remember. So you see, if I'm just like focusing on relaxing it, then it makes it a lot easier for me to project, and I don't have to work at it as hard. That was one difficult thing for me transitioning from, sorry, getting rid of a notification from Twitter. I don't care what Donald Trump is doing on Twitter. I'm not even following him. Why does Twitter do that? It's just like, hey, this person tweeted this thing. I'm like, I don't care. I'm trying to watch a YouTube video. Thank you. Sorry, first world problem. Whenever I first transitioned from theater to film, because I had a tendency to project, it actually came across as kind of fake. The basics of acting. Acting is, I like to say, the hardest thing that any old idiot can do. You have people that train for years, and then you have people that just walk in off the street. Film acting is different than theater acting in the same way that painting is different than sculpture. They're two completely different beasts, but at the end of the day, your job is to interpret the text and to, you know, bring it to the director to have something to work with. It's a lot of, you know, doing the homework, understanding the beats of the scene. It's like understanding it and then knowing it well enough to be able to let go of it and then just let it happen naturally. So it doesn't look like you're just repeating rehearsed lines, but like they are coming to you. But that's very scary because it feels a lot like giving up control, which you have to do. That's the way that you end up having it be organic. It should just feel like reacting. So you aren't acting, thinking of something, like something's happening. Someone like says something hurtful and then you respond. So it's like whatever feels true. It doesn't have to be the truth, but whatever feels true in that moment is going to look true. It's a lot of it's a lot of repeated vulnerability on command. And it can be very, very draining. So it's like kind of exposing that vulnerability, because whenever we feel emotions in real life, we have a tendency to hold them back because, you know, we don't want to be broadcasting everything. But in acting, you want to be not overacting, but broadcasting it enough that we can see it, we the audience can understand it, so it's all in the eyes. That's the basics of it. You can get so much into the mechanics, like understanding the scene, things about how to actually be on camera. Yes, I would say that that's one of the coolest things to me about especially musical theater, but I would say going back probably opera, or like more traditional opera if you want to look at combining acting, stage design, you know, singing, music, like dance, all of that. Again, I would really say that, like, to me, I've done both. Again, film is more like painting and theater is more like sculpture, where sculpture, you can do things that are interesting with form, but generally I would say you have to have a lot more training, and you have to be a lot more like kind of grounded in technique. So it is more demanding in that way, but I would say that film is also demanding. Like it's easier for someone to be to just kind of walk in off the street and do film. I don't really see that happening as much with theater. Whereas with film, you know, you have some actors that they aren't transformative. Like they don't change themselves. They just are themselves in every single role. But if you need someone to be that, then they are great. They are consistent. You know, they can do it on command. And so simply just like being yourself is very difficult if you've ever had someone like turn a camera on you. So I would say, like, if you think about, compare Rembrandt to Jean-Michel Basquiat, who, by the way, y'all, I got I got a pair of the Doc Martens, the Jean-Michel Basquiat Doc Martens. I am so proud of myself for that. Hold on, another notification, sorry. I'm so proud of myself for that because normally with my anxiety, I like hem and haw and I like never buy things that make me happy. But again, being on set, being on my feet, and I also, I've loved Jean-Michel Basquiat for so long. Like I love his art. I think his life story is so interesting, and I just saw that collab and I was like, man, if I do not buy this collab, if I miss out on this because I missed out on the Van Gogh collab, I'm going to regret it. So, but if you look at the art of Basquiat versus Rembrandt, right? Rembrandt had a lot of like the technique, like he painted in a very naturalist, very realistic style. Whereas Jean-Michel Basquiat, not realistic at all. Very stylized, did like primitive modern, right? But they both still have artistic merit. They both work. Whereas, you know, you do have some sculptors that do go a little bit like more avant-garde, but in general for most sculptors, especially kind of if we're talking about like more the human form or whatever, like they start out classic. They start out understanding. Oh yeah, very true. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's just looking at the amount of like technique that's required and understanding of how to actually manipulate the media. I would say that's the big difference. Because when you're on stage, well, the reason why, you know, the very like operatic, like, you know, that very loud, big singing style came about in opera is so that it could be heard over the orchestra. That's why that came about. That's why it's so loud, and it seems like kind of weird to us now because you don't have that backing. Because if you have one person before, like, if I'm sitting back here and okay, so if I'm trying to like talk to you and this is me kind of raising my voice, as opposed to if I started to tap in more to my theater training and just I relax the rib cage and I make it so that it's easier for me to be understood, and this way I'm not straining my voice. And I am not in any means a very well trained theater actor in terms of, you know, I didn't go to a conservatory, but if you're looking at the necessities that created this type of the theater acting, the voice training, the movement training, it's so that you could be heard and understood all the way in the back. You know, same thing with opera. So there are techniques that you just have to learn, otherwise you're gonna injure your voice. Whereas with film, because it's so close and it's so lifelike, you can do some really interesting internal stuff. You can just kind of be and react and see that. And the audience is gonna be able to understand it. So I think, you know, if you don't understand how to work with marble, for instance, your sculpture is gonna fall down. If you don't understand how to project your voice in a way that's going to be sustainable day in, day out for a show, you're gonna wreck your voice. Whereas with painting, you can put paint on it in, you know, an interesting way. You can like move the form around a little bit and you can get more expressive, or, you know, as much detail or as little detail as you want. And so the medium, it's simply, there's, in whatever medium you look at, there's going to be constraints to it. And that's what makes it cool. Like what works in a book won't necessarily work in a movie and vice versa. You have to explicitly say things, for instance, in a book, whereas it's easy to hide things in the background of a movie. So I would say that's kind of the difference to me, in that, you know, I don't think that one necessarily is better than the other. Thank you. Well, I think I'm really like socially driven, so being able to share with you guys makes me excited. But I used to have some like really shitty friends that made me feel ashamed for being excited. And I used to joke that I can own, like, I didn't really trust someone unless they were able to bore me. That is like, tell me what you're excited about. You know, I love it, especially if it's something that I've never heard of and I have no interest in, because I value knowledge so much. I don't want to go and like you know, spend years toiling in a nanotechnology lab. But I have friends who do, and they come and they bring me the little nuggets. Oh, well, yeah, thanks you guys. I think that, again, you know, whenever the world like comes back, I think that improv classes should be, you know, more affordable. Oh, thank you. I think the improv classes should be more affordable. I think that play is so important to us as a species. You know, remember whenever you were a kid and you and your friends would just say, okay, what about this? Okay, so like we are all on a castle. Yeah, and it's in the sky. Yeah, and we all ride dragons. And you guys would just say, you would, yes, and that's all that it is. I think that the what is it, suspension of disbelief is very healthy for us. It's how we can dream, because the brain actually cannot do two things at once, in terms of you cannot be creative and critical at the same time. So it's like you can't be coming up with ideas and editing them. That's why they say whenever you're writing, just get it out there. Don't try to be too self-conscious. I mean, as soon as you start realizing that something's meta, that's whenever, you know, like you start getting awkward in a conversation, or at least for me. So I think that giving yourself permission to play, I know that whenever I got too focused in on how I was doing, oh my gosh, all these questions are so good. Hold on, I'm gonna finish my thought. I think if you I was getting too focused in on like, oh yeah, I need to do this audition well. Am I doing this well? Am I doing this well? Whereas like just focusing on the enjoyment of it and just playing and being excited in things that you are excited about. Because yeah, I used to have friends that would make me feel bad about it. And I love knowledge. I love seeing other people's passions. And so it might be a tiny, if you say you haven't felt excited about something in years, I would say that that's a really exciting journey that you have ahead of you, to reconnect or to find something new. Find that little spark. Think about, you don't have to be happy, is something that I've learned. It's enough to be curious. What makes you curious? You don't have to stick with something. You don't have to have a hobby. This is my thing. This is how I define myself. Just, you know, find something that you think is neat, and then pick that up and put it in your pocket. And then go and find something else you think is neat. Pick that up and put it in your pocket. And then the more interested you are in the world, then the more interesting the world will become to you. And that's, I think it's just really enriching. And again, I don't know everything, and I can't, the research is hard. Sifting through everything to try and find little nuggets of gold, it's very difficult, and there's so many piles of sand out there. So we need as many people as possible to go to different piles, is kind of just always what I've thought. But let's see, comments, I got, how do I get to them? I know that I did it, okay, yes. Okay, so Julio, I am not currently practicing theater, so I was doing theater whenever I was in Wilmington, North Carolina, which has a wonderful theater community there. But it's very difficult to do film and theater at the same time, in my experience at least, especially, you know, so when I'm script supervising, oh hi Goku-san, whenever I'm script supervising, I'm on for the entirety of a run. So I know, it's kind of nice, you know, I know that I'm gonna have 14 days of work. With acting, you know, you can just come in for a couple days and then go and bounce, and then you have to be available for auditions, and it's a lot more juggling. And then at least whenever I was doing theater in Wilmington, it was at least 2 months. I would say that for the shortest run, it was at least 2 months of my life, in terms of I had to be at rehearsals every night for a month, and then if it was just running for a month. If I was doing I've never done a traveling theater show. I've always been interested in it. So, you know, if I was in a show where, oh, thanks. If I was in a show where I was traveling for like a year or something, that'd be a little bit different, you know. But just for me, I think I started to focus in on film a little bit more, simply because it appealed to me. I think that there's good and bad things about both. But I think I got more interested in film. I do miss theater, but I haven't gotten into the theater community here in town as much, and I don't know if I would want to, you know, block off the amount of time to do something like that, or to even, like, you know, I don't know, maybe traveling would be cool because you get to go cool places, but there's a reason why I like working on features as opposed to television shows, because, you know, features like 3 weeks to 2 months, usually 3 weeks to a month, and then you move on to the next, and then I get to meet like more people, as opposed to like a TV show or like a, you know, traveling theater show or something like Broadway or off Broadway, where you're doing it for like minimum, usually 8 months. So the last thing that I did though, what was the last thing I did? I think it was a Halloween show. Yeah, it was a, we did some classic French shows, Tales from the Grand Guignol. Yeah, that's what it was. It was for dinner theater, and I have a soft spot in my heart for dinner theater, I really do. It was at Theater Now, which unfortunately has shut down, simply because the owner wanted to spend more time with her kids. You know, it's understandable. But yeah, sorry, I know this is super rambly. I just wanted to check in with you guys, and you know, you guys are still important to me, and I'm just gonna be getting everything all together. Oh, one last thing though, I forgot. So I'm building a desk, a 2-person desk to go in the corner. And I know someone from acting who is a carpenter, and I like hit him up because he said he had some extra wood, and he thought that I wanted him to like make it. Oh, yeah, we call that typecasting here. It's also like, yeah, I say that typecasting is maybe, I'm of two minds about it, because like they always say, hey, you can't say typecasting without casting. So, you know, at least you're getting work. But I would say that, you know, it's a good problem to have. I would certainly rather be typecast than not cast at all. But it is frustrating. But I ended up learning how to make a desk yesterday, and I worked in the wood shop. And the owner of it, so my friend was showing me like how to do everything and do it, and he was like, the owner was like, hey, we're gonna be swamped the next couple weeks. Do you need any like part-time help? And so I got offered a job in a woodworking shop, and I think I'm gonna take it. I mean, you know, whenever I can to like fit it in around film, but I was having a ton of fun. Like, God, it just felt so good to do things with my hands. Kind of gross. I have blisters though. What? In The Witcher? Oh, no, sorry. Oh my God, I would love to be involved in The Witcher. I love that show so much. I should try and hit up some of my contacts and see if anybody knows anybody that's working on that. No, I got offered a job in a woodworking shop. So like, here, actually, I brought a couple of blocks of these that I'm gonna do some wood burning on, but I've been making my own desk. And I just really want to learn, and so yeah, they need some extra help, and it did kind of be like apprenticeship-ish, but it just kind of made me feel good that, I don't know, I was able to do something with my hands, and I'm gonna make some shelves, just you guys wait. It's gonna be really exciting. But I need to finish getting some stuff ready before my mom shows up, and I just want to say that I've missed you guys so much. Yeah, I'm gonna take the job. I'm gonna like fit it in around film, but really it's just cool to me that that really the boss is saying that I was welcome to be there at the shop. And so on my days off, instead of just kind of sitting around, I mean, I am working on like writing and scripts, but if I had the entire day to myself in the apartment, I don't do well. And so I have a place to go. But yeah, I have a place to go and work on little projects and learn stuff, and so that's really exciting to me. But I just wanted to hang out with you guys and catch you guys up. I'm sorry, I know this was just like ADHD, bleh. But you know, you guys in this community is really important to me, and I've been sharing, you know, my life as it's been going on, so I just kind of wanted to give you guys an update, and hopefully videos in the future will be a little bit less slapdash, but I just appreciate you guys hanging out with me as always. So thank you, and I hope that you guys have a good day, whatever that looks like for you. Bye. If I can figure out how to turn this off. Okay.